went up to a blind person and you said, okay, look here.
Is that how we're starting the episode?
Yes.
Welcome to the Gemini archives, everybody.
Welcome back.
I don't know. Lauren was prepared with something. I was not expecting that. But what if you did, though? You went up to a blind person, you're like, hey, look here.
Or up to a deaf person, you're like, okay, so listen to this. And they're like, what the fuck?
Oh my God. I needed that laugh today.
Or
Thank
you go to a castrated man and you go, get a load of this guy. Oh, sorry.
Lauren, please.
I'm done. I'm sorry. Dude, I'm Mountain Dew and adrenaline right now. You're gonna have to fucking excuse me.
Oh my God, before we started recording, Lauren was like, I have a Mountain Dew, and then all of a sudden comes in with that shit.
Dude, it's Baja Blast. It does something to me.
Well, you know what? I miss Mountain Dew a little bit. I don't drink caffeine anymore because I have a panic disorder and it's bad, but I miss caffeine and most soda. There's some that they make caffeine free. Like you could get just like regular Coke without caffeine. But
it's, you know, Sprite and stuff.
It's just sludge without the fun, though. That's all it is, you know?
It's unfun sludge.
Yes. So, hi everyone.
Hi.
Oh my God. It's been like 2 months since we recorded our last episode.
I don't want to hear it. I'm sorry.
Whoops.
Whoopsie daisies.
Yeah.
Oopsie doodles.
Lauren.
I'm sorry.
No, yeah.
Someone stop me.
Life's been kind of, crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But, we're good now. We're here. We're doing the damn thing. And guess what? We're finally recording this goddamn conspiracy episode. We are ready.
We are prepared. We have notes. We literally have a Google Doc of notes.
Yeah, quite literally. It's funny. I started the Google Doc and then I sent it to Lauren and we're sharing one. Like, okay, here are your notes too.
And I finished the Google Doc.
Yes. And and when I sent the notes to Lauren and it was literally 2 pages of stuff, she was like, Jesus Christ. And I'm like, okay, look, you don't have to type nearly this much, but.
No, but then I sent 2 pages back. That's what happened.
Did you hold on. Let me see this.
Just about. Maybe yours is slightly longer, but.
Oh, yeah.
No, I did about the same.
Yep. Literally about the same.
Yeah. Oh, maybe not even 2 pages. Whatever. I mean.
I was laughing because Lauren's like, yeah, I'm just going to write a few notes and then 2 pages later.
I know. You did the same thing.
Dude, I had to because my memory is so bad now. I knew I was going to forget something important.
Mm-hmm.
I had to include everything just for my own peace of mind. So we're fucking ready, man. These are some crazy fucking theories. And they're not too leaning on the side of political or religious. I guess I'll say that much. We try to get pretty whatever, neutral here, but
except the Epstein stuff. We're actually going to touch on that stuff.
Yep. So spoiler, we're going to be talking about the Epstein files. I know we're a little bit late to the party 4 months later, but
well, better late than never.
Yeah, that's in true Gemini Archives fashion. We are never on time.
Yeah, we are
topical things.
We are not even fashionably late. We are historically late to everything.
It's true. So, very quickly before we begin, I want to say happy birthday to Paul of Ka'ai. It's his birthday today. So, happy birthday, Paul.
Happy birthday.
And there was something else I was going to... a few days after our last episode went up, I did a show with Mike Abominator, friend of the show. Hi, Mike. And I did another black metal playlist with him. I can't talk. And I'm going to link that too if you guys are interested in that. If you like the black metal stuff, I'll throw that in too. But yeah, other than that, life has been fucking crazy. The whole month of March, I feel like was just, we were moving through quicksand.
I don't want to talk about it. It was so bad. And it was one thing after another. Fucking our water being brown for 3 days, and then construction in the parking lot next to our house. But I mean, it was one thing after another. It's like we could not get a break.
Yeah, and I had to like get a new air conditioner, and that was a fucking nightmare because I bought it from the wrong place and they wouldn't install it, and I had to get it was a fucking just like absolute stupidity I dealt with for just like 2 weeks of my life. And I was just like, dealing with other shit on top of it. And I'm just like, man, March fucking sucked. That's why there was no episode.
I hate the month of March.
I do too.
It's like the worst month of the year. It's way too long and way too depressing. Like, can we get out of March, please?
I know. Sorry if your birthday's in March, but we hate your birth month.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's just, well, because that's the thing. It's like the transition between like winter and spring. Yeah. So it's like winter sometimes will like, it has here, has been lingering. So it's like,
it is just holding on for dear life. And it's like, please let go.
I
beg you.
I know, we are almost into May and it is 50 degrees here today. It is cold.
I know.
Like, what the fuck?
I know. We had like last week, we had like 4 days where we had to put the air conditioning on because it was like in the 80s. But it's because there was these big ass storms going through the Midwest and coming our way. And we got like the tail end of it. But we got all the humidity and all the heat. It's like, why?
Yeah, it was gross. And it's like, oh, good. I finally got a new air conditioner that I can use. And then it's like, oh, it's going to be cold for another 3 weeks. And it's like, well, I could have waited.
I know. It's like this week and next week, it's going to rain like crazy. I'm getting these damn millipedes in the house because they love the fucking moisture of our basement. Ugh. And they're nasty. They are big and nasty.
I hate them.
Quinn and I were in the kitchen yesterday, just like getting a snack at 9 o'clock at night. And we see this thing dart across the floor like a demon. And it's scary. Oh my God. We jumped 10 feet in the air. We're like, God almighty. And then it went through a crack in the floor down to the basement. And I'm just like, ugh, they're nasty.
I know. They're so I know. I get them in my bathroom sometimes because my washer and dryer are in the bathroom and the vent for the dryer goes into the basement, but it's not airtight. There's a little gap, where the hose is or whatever it is. And sometimes I crawl up into my bathroom and I'll just see one chilling on the wall. And I'm like, well, I guess I have to immediately move.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess literally. You live here now and I don't. Like, I'm leaving.
Quite literally. It scared the shit out of us to the point where we were so cautious about walking on the floor. But it's like a once to twice a year thing where we see them. And then it's this time of year. They always come out.
Because that happened last year when you guys moved back around this time.
Yeah, it came up from under the fridge.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. Quinn saw it, and I heard him jump and squeal for his life. I was like, like, what happened? He's like, what was that? And it was just a little millipede.
I saw that play out in my mind so perfectly.
Oh my God. Just think of like every facial expression Jack Black has ever made. That's how he reacted.
Yeah.
So.
Holy shit.
Oh my God. Anyway.
Yeah, we're doing the damn thing. But before we get into the conspiracy stuff, as luck would have it for us.
Oh my God. This was divine timing. Just so you know.
Literally last night, I don't know what time, it was like 7 o'clock last night.
Yeah.
I get a text from Lauren and she said, new Local 58 video, this is not a drill. And I was like, immediately, I flew to my TV to watch this. Yeah. Like, I don't even think I touched the ground. I ran so fast.
I almost dropped my phone. I was like, what the fuck? So.
I know you guys didn't see that, but Lauren did that like fumbling thing that people do when they try to catch their phone.
Yeah, when you try to catch your phone and you keep dropping it out of your hands and you like fumble with it a lot. That's what I did with my phone.
So we put it out. We watched it at the exact same time.
Yeah.
And
you called me afterwards.
Yeah, I was like, okay, we need to talk about this. It's only like 3 minutes or something, maybe
4 minutes. Just about 4 minutes.
Excuse me. And we it was just like I don't know, like it was was it a commercial? I would call it a commercial.
Yeah, well, it started out as a commercial and then it turned into like this. It's about AI.
Yeah.
And it was like a commercial for this AI company or whatever, but it's not AI, they called it QI, so it's different. And then sorry, I got dicks in my throat, but
Lord, please.
Sorry. But then the other half of the video, it turned into like this, like the Eevee bot, like where you talk to someone who's AI or whatever and they respond back. It was kind of like that, but it was a little more fucked up.
Yeah, and I'm so stupid. The name of the video is literally called Ad Spot. It is an advertisement. I'm stupid. But in the ad, so the first part of the ad is like, just the actual, like modern day advertisement, and they give you a QR code for their website, and it goes to an actual website. So I scanned it, and I will have the website link below if you're interested. I'll also go ahead and link the video too if you're interested in seeing it.
Not only watch that video, watch the entire channel. It's not that there's quite a bit of videos, but they're not super long.
I think it would take you total close to like I'm guessing like half an hour, if that.
No, I'd say about hour and a half, 2 hours.
You think?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they have that one that's like long as hell.
They have one that's 30 minutes long, but otherwise,
yeah,
I think an hour to 2 hours, depending. So
yeah,
at least a couple hours of your life.
But it's worth it. It is so worth watching the whole thing. It's such a good series. We've covered it multiple times on this channel, so we'll probably do a part 3 at some point.
Yeah,
talking about it once there's a few more videos that have been uploaded, but we'll link this one just because we're talking about it. And it takes you to a website, and I forgot I gotta pull up the website real quickly. I forgot what section of the website that's all like corrupted and shit, but hold on, I'm gonna open this hold on, we're gonna put in the Bob Ross music.
Did you send me the website too, actually?
Yes. Hold on. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's in the
ethics and safety.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Oh my god, it's so much scarier on a desktop. I hate it. If you scroll down on that section of the website, it's just like corrupted text, and then it brings you to a video, and it's basically the second half of the most recent Local 58 video.
Yeah.
So, but it's fucking creepy. Yeah, I know. It's so much worse on a fucking.
I know. This wasn't as bad on the phone. On the computer, it's terrible.
Ugh.
No,
I hate it. So, yeah, we were speculating about it too, because it literally is about AI. Like you said, it's instead of AI, it's now this new technology called QI, talking about how AI is basically like obsolete and not reliable and like all this other shit.
Yeah.
And there's so much debate around how effective AI is and like its legitimacy and shit. So, but yeah, it's fucking terrifying, because like the second half of the video is like spoilers, by the way, in case you want to watch it yourself. You could skip this part, but like the second half of the video is just like someone basically feeding information to an AI bot, but the date on it was using analog technology, and I think the date was like 1980 something, like 83, 85 or whatever.
I think it was 83.
Yeah. And so it's like, the beginnings of AI, I would say, and it was like, basically you see like this anthropomorphic face or whatever. Like, it's like this.
It's like I said, it's like Eevee bot. I don't know if you remember her. She's like a human head, and you talk to her and she talks back.
Yeah, I remember.
It's not like a physical human head. It's all like pixelated and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a little different, but it's the same concept.
Yep. And, they're feeding it all these different, like, messages and things, and just like, they're forcing it to like, spit back certain information. So it's fucking creepy, man.
I know.
It starts talking about God, and it's like, I'm in heaven and I'm afraid of God and like all this stuff. And it like freaked me the fuck out. I was like, nope.
Dude, it's crazy how Local 58 uses technology and religion like at the same time, and also like extraterrestrial beings and stuff, to like really paint this picture of like how crazy like the world is. And like, it's like, it's like what originally started as like, alien beings talking through a local news station. That's the whole concept of this channel.
Right.
At least that's what I got from it. And, to go from that to them thinking they're like this big religious being or whatever, like it's crazy. And like in the video, they basically put in like a cheat code to force them into telling the truth and to force them to like talking whoever they're talking to. And it's just, I don't know. It blew my mind. It's like, I want that cheat code for life. Where do I get the tell the truth cheat code? Because I want that.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Just fucking use that on everybody. But
I play enough games to know what cheat codes look like. So
yeah,
that was definitely like a cheat code to getting the truth.
yeah, it definitely looked like I play The Sims. It looked like a cheat code you input, in The Sims, where it's like, hide objects or whatever, and it's like, I don't know. It's fucking creepy because I don't like AI, to preface. Like,
I really don't think anyone likes AI. You know who likes AI? Everyone who's younger than us. Why? Like, because they can't think for themselves. They have to have a computer do it.
yeah.
I don't get it,
And I mean, excuse me, I've seen people, make like silly like videos and AI pictures and so, and that's one thing. When it's used just purely for just like entertainment purposes and stuff like that, we used to go talk to like chat bots and stuff when we were younger, and we just thought it was goofy because it would spit back all kinds of nonsense at us and we would just laugh about it. That's one thing. When it's being like, when it's replacing people's actual jobs, and it's being preferred over actual human minds. Like I watch I don't know if anyone watches Dr. Mike, but I watch his channel. He's fantastic, and he actually tested a couple of like Chat GPT and like other like AI chat engines or whatever to see if they could replicate the medical advice of a human, and it was okay. It said some truth in some things, but it didn't replace objective thinking provided by doctors, and that's why doctors can never be replaced by AI and shit,
right?
But it's just, there's been so much like emphasis on, now like you go on Google and now there's Gemini Google, which is hilarious. Hi, we are the Gemini Archives and we do not support Gemini.
Yeah, literally.
And stuff like that, and it can provide so much misinformation sometimes, and it's bad. And like, even you Google something now, the first thing you see is the AI generated response before you see like actual pages written by human beings,
right? And it just pulls sentences from articles to basically formulate like a too long didn't read version of what you're trying to look up.
Yeah. So we need to use discernment when Googling things now, because the stuff that they're spitting back at us is like, because think about like when you talk to even like the chat bots and stuff like in the early 2000s, it's like, would you trust that person with advice, quote unquote person? No, you wouldn't. It's like,
yeah. And AIs are just they basically are there to be manipulated into like what you're putting into them. Basically, it's like if you put certain like thoughts and ideas into an AI, they're gonna just regurgitate it back to you. Who like, did you see the Eddie Burback video of him using ChatGPT and it made him like delusional as hell?
No.
It's called, hold on, I just looked it up. ChatGPT made me delusional, and like he basically told ChatGPT that like he was some kind of like power or something like that, and it was to the point where he was like going into the desert because ChatGPT told him to, and he just like listened to it, because he kept feeding the AI the idea that he was like this almighty being or whatever, and she was like agreeing with it. I say she, it was a female voice, but it was agreeing with him, and giving him ideas on how to progress his power and stuff like that. It was fucking bizarre. And that's why AI is so scary, because you put ideas into it and it kind of just spits back what you want to hear. It's not what's right though, because they're not that kind of like, they don't have that kind of mental capacity to discern right and wrong. They just are here to serve us, you know?
Yeah, that's fucking dangerous. Like,
link that video too, by the way. That Eddie Burback video is fucking crazy.
Yeah, because like, I don't know, like, you ever see like images that have been run through like ChatGPT or just like you know, like continuously run through until they're just like weird and distorted and demonic? I don't trust that shit.
I don't either.
Like, I don't know. It's, the whole thing is just, it's too much, you know?
I think the rise of AI comes from the fact that the pandemic made us so fucking lonely and isolated that people were desperate for any kind of connection. So people started like, you know, getting into relationships with AI and stuff and having AI girlfriends and boyfriends and shit. And like, you know, using it for everyday life so they don't have to talk to people. It's dangerous because we are social creatures by nature. You know, like we need human interaction to live. You know, because you could isolate for a while, but it gets to a point where it's like, no, I really need to talk to someone, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, people use AI as a way to fill that social need, but it's doing more damage than good. Because then you try to talk to a normal person with like, you know, substance and original thought, and it's like, it's a mess for them because they can't manipulate the situation. Right. You know, it's making people more isolated and antisocial than ever. And it's like, especially like the much younger generation, you know, like we're millennials, but we're on the younger millennial side. And even, you know, people our age, maybe a little bit younger, are like kind of caught in that. Like, it's always like these adults living on their own. And, you know, I don't have any friends and I'm single. And, you know, I just talk to AI all day kind of a thing. Like, it's bizarre, and it's going to kill us as a human race, you know?
Yeah, it's going to replace a lot of like things, and that's why nostalgia culture, I'm gonna call it, is so prevalent right now, because there's a lot of people who crave just the simplicity of like, you know, our youth, you know, as in like us as millennials, and you know, Gen X even too, and you know, a lot of people just crave that simplicity, and you know, it's feeling more and more foreign as the years go on, because you know, a lot of things are being replaced, right? Like, you don't, like, even malls are closing, you know, we did a whole episode about that. Like,
it's sad.
Yeah, a lot of places where we used to congregate and a lot of the ways we used to do things are different now. It's like, you know, as a means to help simplify things, but like, where's the bar? Like, where's the limit on that, to where it's just like, now you don't even need to interact with people. You can go to McDonald's now and not talk to a single human being.
No, all you have to do, McDonald's, Taco Bell, anywhere now, it's all like these kiosks where you can order from. You can either do it on their app, or you go in and you just order there. No one goes up to the register anymore. Like, people just go up there to grab their food and then leave. That's it. You know, and then, you know, that's the most interaction you have with a human, is someone calling out your name, you grab your stuff and you leave, you know? And it's crazy that like, there's no, like, there was like a whole like process to it, you know, to go out to dinner, to go out to McDonald's, you know? It's like, you sit there and you decide when you get there with the big menu, what you're going to have. And then you talk to the person, and someone manually puts in your order and make sure, you know, they do it right and it's not fucked up by technology, you know? And then you sit there and you eat, and, you know, it's like a whole experience. You know, there used to be playscapes where kids could go and like, you know, play in there. And now there's none of that anymore. Yeah, it's just so cold.
And like, and I think I might have said this on a previous episode, but I blame COVID for a lot of this being escalated to where it is now, because people are avoiding each other because, oh, I don't want to get sick, when in actuality, it's more so just like, we've just become accustomed to isolating ourselves. And that's so detrimental to just like, you know, I couldn't imagine being a kid and being raised in this climate, if I'm perfectly honest.
Well,
you know?
I know that's why they're all fucked up now, because they didn't have that interaction at school with other kids. You know, they were just doing it online for like almost a year and a half.
I know. And, you know, when we were kids, we just got the fucking flu and dealt with it, you know, every year. And it's just like, you know, you get a flu shot and you're fine. But like, you know, it's nowadays, it's like everything just seems different. It's like, there are so many videos that exist, and I get recommended this stuff. It gets that into my algorithm all the time. There's so many videos where people talk about how just the world feels different now. It doesn't feel like how it did back then.
It doesn't.
It feels like a different place, and it's giving everyone an identity crisis, and it's crazy how different things are and how AI kind of like really plays into that and almost like, escalates that feeling. And it sucks, like,
Yeah.
I never really used AI ever. Like, I think once it started to become really prevalent, like, 2021-ish, I tried it once and I hated it, because this is also the stuff that has been replacing, I'm an artist. It's been replacing work for me,
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people just do it myself and then just make these really lowbrow fucking ugly ass, art pieces, and objectively ugly. Like, I think
it's ugly.
Yeah, it's bad. Like, there's even some bands too, like, as far as metal's concerned, Pestilence is one of them, who redid one of their album covers, and the AI version, I'm gonna put up a picture here. Here's the original, I should say. So this is the original, and then here's the AI version. It's garbage.
Mm-hmm.
It looks so bad. It literally looks like some watered down, just bizarre fucking bullshit. And, they went on this whole tirade about supporting AI and, it's our future and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, like, I understand AI is being integrated into our future, but that doesn't mean you have to redo your album cover. That's one of the more iconic death metal album covers, in my opinion. I'm not big on the album. I'm not really a death metal person, but, that album cover is fucking, like, iconic. Like, people recognize it right away. And now it's just like, this is what it's associated with, and Pestilence lost a huge chunk of their following over this, and
it's crazy because, like, also about the pandemic ruining fucking everything, it's made people like, so, like, no one knows how to use manners anymore. Everyone's so rude and nasty and just does not have any social cues whatsoever. Like, trying to go to a show now is impossible. Like a concert, because you have this young generation of people who are just so rude. Like, who hurts you? Like, they're so fucking rude at shows. They bump into everyone. They're screaming. They're like, there's no etiquette whatsoever. Even some of the adults are like that too. Like, really adults,
Yeah, because you and Quinn went to a show recently. So
yeah, I was going to talk about the end of the show, but we went to a show last Saturday, and dude, first of all, I didn't recognize almost anybody there. I used to go to Meg and I used to go to shows quite a bit for a while. Like years and years. I don't recognize a single person anymore who I know, except for maybe one or two people. And it was just like, everyone is rude. It's like, what? Who? Like, I don't understand where all this rudeness came from. It's like, I just don't remember people being like, I mean, there's always going to be rude people and stupid people, but like,
well, right.
I just don't remember it being this bad. Even in Utah, like when I was living in Utah, it was the same thing. Just people just being drunk and belligerent and just fucking loud. And like, I understand it's a show, but like, I don't need to hear you over the band. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear you singing the songs. I want to hear the band sing the songs, because it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
people who just go to shows and have to be the center of attention, just stay home. No one's there to see you. We're there to see the bands.
Right.
Like, I can't stand that shit. And I mean, it was a thing before, but I feel like I'm just seeing it more and more and more now. It's crazy.
Yeah, and also people like being really lazy at their jobs, because once everyone took a year off at, when the pandemic happened, most people, I should say, essential workers, sorry, but, it turned into like, oh, I don't want to work now. I just want to continue to sit on my ass, and everyone having an ego because everyone's on TikTok posting their stupid little fucking dances. It's like, it cultivated this like environment of, I just want to get paid for doing nothing. And I am only worrying about me, and everything's about me, and I lack empathy for others, and it's a huge problem with a lot of people, you know? And I'm not saying it's everyone, obviously, but like it has turned into a fucking ego fucking thing, you know, where everybody is just like, you know, you can't even go out into public anymore without seeing like a couple of stupid girls fucking filming TikToks, you know, and blocking everybody's way. They're a nuisance. It's just like annoying. It's just like, what world do we fucking live in now, you know? And I think as far as AI goes, you know, AI is kind of like the catalyst for all this of just like not thinking for yourself, you know, and not thinking for yourself and only caring about yourself. You know, it's this shitty fucking environment. And actually, one of the theories I'm going to be talking about today and that's why we're talking about the Local 58 stuff too. It goes so well with this because it is about AI literally replacing people. It's the dead, what is it called? The fucking, I want to make sure I don't fuck this up. The dead internet theory. But before we get into that, I think we're going to go take a break.
I know. We've been talking for a while.
Yeah.
This is going to be a long one, everyone. So just buckle up.
Literally get your tinfoil out and, you know, your tinfoil hats on. We're going in today.
Get your tinfoil hat. When you unwrap it, it's a giant Hershey kiss.
Yeah.
Like Scary Movie 3.
Because, like we're doing the damn thing, you know? And we're literally doing this because one person said to me, hey, where's that conspiracy theory episode? Because I said it as a joke. And now we're actually doing it. So I forgot who it was, but whoever you were, thank you. You know, we appreciate it. So, but yeah, I'm going to put in a song from Hod. So that's, you know, Carl, friend of the show. Hi, Carl.
Hi, Carl.
That was his band. And I say was because if you didn't listen to the episode that I did with him last year, it was right around the time that the vocalist for that band, Beer, passed away. And, you know, the band is no longer, you know, because Beer is no longer here with us. And recently, Goat Throne Records did a reissue of their album, The Book of the Worm. And it was a tribute to Beer. You know, I got one. It's got like a really cool poster inside that isn't like it's a digipack, so it's not like the front cover like a jewel case. It's like its own separate thing, which is cool. And you know, the album's fucking killer. So you know, I'm gonna put in one of those songs because I've been listening to it a lot lately. And I'm gonna link it too, if you would like to get one. If you know, dig the song and want to grab one of the albums, there's only a limited amount through Goat Throne that are available. I will link that also so you can get one. And you know, it's so great. It's for fans of like, I would say like, you know, old school Morbid Angel sound. So it's cool as shit, you know. And I don't know what song yet, but I'm gonna put in one of those songs. And when we come back, we're gonna talk about some weird fucking shit, man. We're gonna jump right into it, so buckle the fuck up, guys. But yeah, this is Hod, and we'll be right back. and welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
So here we go.
I hear the tinfoil now.
Yeah. You can hear everybody falling down their rabbit holes. It's going to be great. All right, I'm getting right into it. First theory we're going to talk about is the dead internet theory. Well, I'm going to talk about. I picked out two, Lauren picked out two, and we're going to talk about them and kind of bring up the Epstein files as well, which kind of like, sparked the whole interest in doing this episode in the first place. So,
right.
Okay, so the dead internet theory. So this is a belief that internet traffic, posts, and users have been replaced by AI and bots, and that humans are no longer an influence on the internet and its algorithms. So what you're seeing basically on a daily basis is not even real. So that's this theory, and it kind of appeared in the the late 2010s on 4chan, which is where all great internet mysteries begin, right? And 4chan and Reddit. But it kind of became like really prevalent in 2021. It was after a post that was published on Agora's Road Macintosh Cafe, which is like a forum site. Someone had described this theory in detail, and the person that posted it, whose name I could not find for the life of me, but it was a male, I believe. He went into like describing feelings of like loneliness and disappointment as far as, the modern day internet. And he claimed that it eliminated focus on connection and exchange of information in favor for algorithmic form in commerce. So, which I agree with, because if you look at your Instagram feed, even, or any social media for that matter, every other post is like 3 ads now.
It's
every
crazy.
Other post.
TikTok used to not be like that, but now recently you scroll like after every 10 videos, there's an ad. And in the tiny bottom left corner, it says ad. And it's like, really? This was the safe spot, Yeah. That's the reason why I switched to TikTok, because they didn't have ads like that, but now they do.
Yeah. In Instagram now, it's like, if you're looking through stories on Instagram, it's like, you'll see a story from someone then 3 consecutive ads, and then another story. It's like everybody's posts get buried underneath ads now. And
unless you pay for it to promote your post, then they'll boost your shit. But
it's absolutely fucking insane that we can't even connect with our loved ones and people anymore, because we're just getting bombarded by buying the same fucking face creams and stuff from Halara and all this shit. At least for women, I can't speak for guys. We're targeted with beauty products and anti-aging and all this shit. Basically, you're ugly and this is going to make you pretty content.
Yeah, shapewear that sucks in all your fat. I get ads for that constantly. I'm like, okay, bitch, I know. You don't have to tell me your ads.
So then the forum, it goes kind of a step further, and it states that this guy believes we're rarely interacting with other humans, but bots instead. And it creates this feeling of disconnect and almost uncanny valley vibes. So it's someone that's kind of there but not really. Even when you contact customer service now, sometimes you get a live person, but most of the time you're talking to a straight up robot. And how helpful are they? What are they going to do for me? So, and this is written before ChatGPT was even created, and other AI generators. So when they were finally introduced, the speculation around this theory kind of spread like wildfire. Oh shit, here it is. Here's the great replacement that's happening, where humans are becoming obsolete in favor for, this AI technology. And and now people too, especially, I'm not on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. I know people that have been using it for years still call it Twitter out of habit. They say, even on there, when you even post or whatever, your comments are now by bots. And on YouTube too, this is a big problem.
Yeah,
there's
for
a lot
years.
A lot of bot sites and people pretending to be other people and trying to rip people off and do stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like it'll be like a Jacksepticeye video, and it looks like Jacksepticeye replying to your comment, but it's a spam bot saying, click this link and enter to win $500 for whatever. You know, it's been like that for years.
Yeah, it's insane, and it's only gotten worse because now they don't even do things like that. It's like they reply like their normal comments and stuff, and it's very deceptive. And you know, as the AI shit continues to evolve, it's like, you know, this type of thing has become more prevalent. And now it's like, you don't know who you're even dealing with. Is this a real person? Is it not? It almost makes social media like unusable in some cases, especially for someone who is like promoting themselves, like as a, you know, artist, whatever, you know, it's like, it's hard to get your artwork out there because, you know, now the AI label is on it too, and people don't want to support AI artwork. So it gets, you know, people have to explicitly disclose that this was not created with AI or whatever. And it's like, we shouldn't even have to do that. You know, AI shouldn't be taking over, you know, people's creative work. You know, it's just, it has gotten out of fucking control.
Yep.
And the reason that this still remains a theory and it's not like, you know, something that's, you know, fully concrete, I guess, and why we're putting it in the conspiracy theory episode, AI is not sophisticated enough on its own. And because most sites take serious precautions to prevent spammers and scammers, people say like, well, this is just a theory because, you know, a lot of scam pages and stuff get addressed quickly now and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, every day we see it continue to grow more and more like out of control. So it's hard to like, you know, disprove this because it's like, well, look what's happening. You jump on any social media website and you're just bombarded, not even just with ads, but with like fake content, fake profiles, fake people, you know? And it's like, hard.
It's to the point where you can't even like see your own friends and family's posts because of all this crap as soon as you open it, you know?
Yeah, and it's dangerous because especially if they're impersonating you or someone else or whatever, and they're saying false information or whatever, that's detrimental. You know, like these people that do this, like they don't care, you know? And it's so malicious, but it's so commonplace now too, where it's almost so easy to get away with it now because now it gets more and more convincing and the more AI gets, you know, advanced. And it's like, you know, the internet is fucking dead. Because think about the internet in the early 2000s, even the late 90s, you know?
Right.
How it wasn't what it was used for. It's like, it was much more simple, you know? It's like you made a website sometimes if you even knew how to do that. But like what was on there, it wasn't much to do. And that's why people didn't really stay on the internet that much because there wasn't enough here. You know, it was meant for like basic needs, and then that was it. You know?
Yeah, and what's crazy is that like, I forgot where I saw this, but this is true. 90% of the websites out there are just straight porn. Like 10% is what we usually see, but the majority of the websites out there, it's basically porn. So of course that's where people are going to go and like fetishize and like do whatever. But you know, that 10%, it's like, you know, when you're not horning it up, like, you know, what are you going to do then? So that's why people were just like bored with the internet. But that's why like stuff like, you know, the dark web exists because people get so bored of the baseline internet, they got to go fucked up instead of just outside, you know?
Right. No, it's true. Like, so I chose this one because obviously it goes into relation with the AI subject. And we talked about with Local 58, but also because this has been affecting everyone, you know?
Yes.
It's not just like a group of people. It's like everyone is affected by this, you know? And it's kind of scary. Honestly, it scares the shit out of me because, you know, what if it does replace, you know, human need? And like you go onto social media now and it's not social anymore because you're not interacting with people. It's kind of like how MTV was music television until it wasn't, you know?
Yeah, and it's gone now.
And now it's gone. So like, is that what's going to happen to social media? Is it going to become obsolete because of how overrun with ads and bullshit and fake people and fake AI shit, you know, like, is it going to just become obsolete? Who the fuck knows? We'll have to go back to, you know, writing each other letters like in the 1800s, you know? And honestly, I think we're all kind of going to welcome that at some point, because at least we're connecting with other human beings, real people.
Right. And you know what? I saw a video like yesterday or the other day about how a lot of companies now, you know, they've trying to, you know, advance themselves with AI technology and like all this stuff, but they realize it's been a flop and are just going back to the way things work because it's easier and the people want it.
Yeah.
Like major companies, you know, it's like, yeah, you don't need to change everything if it already works, you know? It's like, you know, people trying to use AI to make everything more advanced, but it's like, we're already advanced. Like, we don't need to go any more, because then it's just going to cause problems.
Well, right. And
you know?
historically speaking, advancement was only necessary when we are met with something that was a problem and we needed a solution for it.
Right.
But if we don't need a solution for most of these things, then it's counteractive. You know, how many times have like we seen like a website change its like layout, you know, when the original layout was totally fine and then they change it and it's just like a disaster. It's like that, you know, it's like, why did you change it? It was fine. Just if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know?
Right.
Like, that's true. You know, it's just, you know, people are going back to simpler things. I've seen people even going back to flip phones just so they don't have to have access to social media all the time on their phone.
Dude, the number of people I see getting a Razr flip phone in 2026 is crazy.
Yeah. Dude, we had Razrs in 2006, 20 years ago.
Yeah, my phone doesn't turn on anymore.
Mine either. But, you know, we had Razr phones. The camera on it was garbage. The texting was okay. It was fine, you know? It
worked for what it was.
Yeah, we could make calls on it if we hung out at a friend's house. You know, we were in high school, we were teenagers when they came out. You know, we could call our parents, hey, come pick us up. That was all we used it for, you know, because we were... Oh, sorry.
I just want to say, I will say, the one advancement that I'm glad they did with phones is add an actual fucking keyboard instead of using the numbers where you have to, like, flick through all the letters to get to the one that you want. I'm glad that they at least did that, you know? But,
yes. Jesus Christ, that was so annoying. I could still do it now if I needed to, but it's so fucking annoying. But, you know, because back then, when we were hanging out with our friends, we were actually spending time with them. We weren't sitting in front of a TV most of the time. You know, maybe if, you know, we slept over a friend's house at night, we put on a movie or something. But, like, you weren't just sitting on, even, like, we had MySpace back then, right? Which is kind of like the beginning, the dawn of social media. And, you know, we'd go check it for, like, 10 minutes. And just, you know, I have a message, reply to a message, whatever. And then that was it, you know?
It was actually like seen as kind of lame to be on the computer all the time.
Yeah. You seem like a loser. It's like, you don't have anyone to like hang out with, you know? Like, and nowadays it's like almost the opposite. And it's like so scary how like, you know, dependent we become, because that's the other thing with AI and, you know, focuses on algorithms. It's like they're catered to you. So that's what keeps you hooked and engaged, because how many times have you been scrolling on TikTok and then it's just like all these videos of like shit that you like, you know, like watching people, I don't know, like I know you watch a lot of cleaning videos. So it's like, you know, it's cleaning video after cleaning video and they keep feeding it so you stay on longer. And then you don't want to be around people because you're like, well, I'd rather watch this, you know? And it's like, it is so fucking detrimental. So I think the dead internet theory was like absolutely prevalent to today, and it had to be talked about because, you know, even though it is still considered a theory, it's like we're watching it manifest. And there's a lot of conspiracy theorists right now that have been pointing fingers at people going, I told you so, you know, and it's just like, whatever. So that's the dead internet theory. What was your first one, I should say?
Okay, so I don't know if anyone has been paying attention to the Weather Channel recently and how they went back to speaking of going back to simpler things, the Weather Channel, it was like an anniversary or something, went back to their original format of like, you know, the layout that they used to have, like way back in like the 80s and 90s and stuff. They kind of did it as like a retro thing, but now I think they're actually going to keep it because people prefer it, you know?
Yeah, it's familiar.
And it's familiar. It's, you know, we just like it. But it got me to thinking, like, is there any like conspiracy theories about like the Weather Channel? Because let me tell you something. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on in the atmosphere lately. All these freak storms and weather patterns and shit. But I'm like, people really think like the government's controlling that as a part of like an agenda or something like that. And at this point, I almost believe it, because tell me why we had the worst winter ever this year, like over 2 feet of snow in how many months, you know, like every Sunday it snowed, every single Sunday. Why Sunday does it need to snow? You know, out of all the days in the week, like, why is it always Sunday? You know, so I'm like,
I know, especially because the last few years, we barely had any snow. And then now all of a sudden. So it's like, you know, weather patterns and stuff, but like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so what's going on? So there's a theory that the actual Weather Channel itself, like the people behind it, are manipulating the weather, and they've been doing it for years. And they basically do it because, you know, it's for profit. You know, it's like they're over exaggerating how the climate is and stuff, and all these weather patterns, just so people will tune in and watch, you know, like the you know, retro Weather Channel shit. Like, this is like, you know, what it was doing currently is like, you know, basically over dramatizing how serious these weather events are, just so people would watch. But then on the other hand, it's like, you know, people really think like, I don't know if the government or whoever is like using planes that have, you know, like those like planes with the white tail at the end, like smoke. They basically think it's like a chemtrail to like manipulate the atmosphere and the weather, you know, just to avoid like, I don't know why they would do that in the first place, you know?
Dude, but I don't know.
What I found really interesting about this though is that one of the founders of the Weather Channel, his name is John Coleman, who has passed away, like I think in 2014. He basically thought climate change was a myth, like human, you know, made climate change was a myth, and he didn't believe in any of that shit. And he basically like gave a lot of misinformation about the reality of climate change. And there was an interview I found. It was one of the last interviews he ever did before he passed away. He said how in 2014, this is in 2014, how the ice in the Antarctic was abundant and it was helping the wildlife to thrive, basically. But the reality is that, yes, more ice survived in the last couple of years, but it was at a record low at that point in 2014. So you see, there was like a lot of misinformation. So it sounded like there was all this ice and, you know, we're doing just fine, you know, weatherly down there, but it actually isn't that. It's like, we just did better than last year, but it doesn't mean it improved, you know? Right. So it was hard for people to like kind of take him seriously. And like, why would he, you know, that's what got me thinking. It's like, why the hell is he so against climate change? And like, you know, the idea of it, that we are hurting the planet, you know?
Right.
Because he wants to profit off of all these weather events going on, you know? Like, I could totally believe that though, because you think about like, I was going to talk about this one, but I decided not to because it was a huge can of worms, but I'll mention it briefly. It's like big pharma, you know, who give people medicines and keep them sick, basically, so they keep coming back and they keep making money. Like the whole like doctor industry and the pharmaceutical industry is fucked up. You know,
oh, dude, like, you know, I was sick for 2 months, you know, end of last year going into this year. I was sick as fuck. I've never in my life had to take 2 rounds of antibiotics before. You know, have just felt like, you know, oh, well, you know, you're making it out bigger than you think it is. And it's really not a big deal. And doctors are more dismissive nowadays. And it's just like, and that could be related back to, you know, just people not wanting to, you know, do their jobs and just getting lazy, or it's
I don't think it's that. I think they're just being paid to be silenced to keep people sick and keep them coming in. It's why things are made so cheaply now. iPhones, furniture, fucking everything is made to break within 2 years. So you keep coming back and giving them money.
Dude,
you think about stuff from like the 50s, the 40s, like that stuff was built to last, you know, even the 80s and 90s. You could get a fridge. We have a fridge from the 90s and it's still fucking working in this house.
Mine is from straight up the early 80s and it still works.
But I'm saying, it's like that stuff was built to last, but now it's like this whole, I don't think this is a conspiracy. I could really see this happening because, you know, I lived it. You live it. We all live this. It's like everything breaking. So we have to keep going back and paying more money for stuff.
And back to what you said about doctors, like, you know, kind of being dismissive so people will have to come back. This might be a little bit of a stretch, but I am going to say this. I saw when I was working at the hospital that doctors would get paid more if they, you know, labeled certain deaths as by fentanyl. And
in COVID too. That's what happened. I'm going to be transparent about this shit. My grandpa in 2020, the day the pandemic was declared, he passed away from colon cancer. They put in his birth certificate COVID. A birth certificate, death certificate.
Yeah.
Why did he say birth? He literally did the opposite. His death certificate said COVID, even though he was diagnosed with colon cancer 3 years before he passed away. Because the doctors make more money off of it. You know, it's
insane. I saw it firsthand, and that is why I do not associate anymore, and I don't do that kind of work because I don't want to be, no, I can't, you know? And, you know, my mom was, because that was her father, was ripping pissed when she saw, like, you know, his death had been labeled COVID, and it took forever to get it changed.
Yeah.
You know, eventually it got changed to the right thing, but they labeled it as COVID.
Yeah, but to get back on the topic of the Weather Channel, I just thought it was so fucking crazy how the co-founder of the Weather Channel, someone who should have abundant knowledge about climate patterns and weather changes and all this shit, can literally be dismissive of humans having any effect on the environment. Like, how the fuck are you going to be like that, you know? I thought that was fucking insane.
You know, this is someone that's in charge, and, you know, the general public is looking at you to inform us, you know, and you're sitting there being contradictory, and like, it's fear mongering is what it is, you know? And especially him being like, oh yeah, climate change is a myth. And then meanwhile, we're having all these crazy weather patterns. It's like, well, something's going on, you know? We're not fucking stupid, you know? Like,
I know.
You know, see it happening. And like I said, the last 2 winters we had were extremely, like, maybe we got like a little bit of snow, but like usually we get quite a bit up here.
Dude,
you know?
I don't know what's going on in Utah, but they, like, when I lived there the whole time, I think there was 1 year where we got snow pretty good, and I lived there for 4 years, but the other 3 years, barely anything. Like, literally, it was like summer for 7 months, then we got 2 months of cold, and then fucking summer started again. I mean, it's where we lived in Salt Lake City area. It was like, we were pretty north, but we didn't get snow or anything, just some rain. And that was it, you know? And I know, like, it's basically a desert climate, you know, in the summer and stuff, and there's desert plants or whatever. But I just, you know, you think being so north and with those mountains there, you know, but Utah has its own problem because of inversion, because of the mountains surrounding it anyways. It keeps all the pollution trapped in the Salt Lake Valley, and it's got nowhere to go because the population has, like, tripled in the last 10 years. So there's so much pollution, and so they have an overpopulation problem. Like, we couldn't go anywhere. I mean, it could be a Wednesday morning when you think things would be dead and whatever. There's kids all over the place, people all over the place. It was bad. So,
dude, I know. It's so crazy now how just, like, you know, that contributes to the world just feeling different. Like, we don't have seasons anymore, you know? It's like we just go from, you know, brutal fucking cold right into really hot. It's like we don't really have, like, spring or fall anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that, but
yeah, maybe a week or two. But
yeah, anyway, that's my thoughts on the Weather Channel. And
dude,
what kind of shady practices they're doing. Because, like, you would think something like the Weather Channel would be pretty cut and dry, but it's not. Everything has an agenda now, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I could believe it. But anyway, we got to keep going because this is going to be a 4-hour podcast.
I know, my God. So, okay, my second one, excuse me, is not so much it is a theory, but it starts as a story that like kind of catapults into a theory. So I'm going to try and summarize this as quickly as I can. So this is about a man called Gary Sudbrink, and this happened around February of 1993. I actually saw this story, which I'm going to have linked the video where I got this story from below, from a channel called Fortune. And he had mentioned this. And when I first heard it, I was so like freaked out. I was like, I have to talk about this. So
I love a story.
So here's the thing. So Gary was an Air Force captain and he was stationed in San Antonio, and he wanted to go surprise his parents with a visit to their home in Long Island. So he's originally from Long Island. So he goes to the airport, and while he's waiting to depart and he's flying into JFK, what he describes as a well-dressed man with a clipboard approached him. He was asking for like specific personal information about him, like his full name, where he was traveling to, all this stuff, and claiming that it was just for like a survey. But he didn't want anything to do it, so he just kind of brushed him off. And then he, gets on the plane, and then another man that was dressed like in a similar fashion sat next to him while he, after he had, got to his seat, and he also started asking him questions. And then a flight attendant came over and told that other man that he was in the wrong seat and made him move and stuff. But Gary's sitting there like, what the fuck? Like, what is that about? So this is two different people, but the same kind of like weird encounter happening within minutes of each other, And so before he took off, Gary called his landlord in San Antonio to watch his apartment while he was gone, because he was like really suspicious, like, hey, like, I don't know what's going on here, like, can you just watch my stuff out for me and just make sure no one breaks into my apartment or something. Excuse me. So once he flies into New York, he flies into JFK or whatever, Gary called up his friend Mike to meet him, and be like, hey, like, I'm home, like, let's get together. And then Mike goes, Mike referred to a phone call that they had the day before, but Gary did not make that phone call to him. And Mike claimed that when Gary, quote unquote, called him, he sounded really congested and said he was flying into LaGuardia and not JFK. So it sounded like him, but it sounded like he was sick and, wasn't like fully himself. And, Mike's like, well, obviously I'm not sick. Like, what the fuck, And so he just kind of like dismissed it. He's like, okay, that's weird. I'm going to go right to my parents' house then, because he thought he thought Mike was kind of pulling his leg or something.
Also, really quick, typical male thing to just brush shit like this off instead of like being actually worried. Like, oh my God, that would piss me off.
Oh, yeah.
Like, someone's making phone calls as me. Oh, I'm just going to go to my parents' house and not worry about it. It's like, dude, what the fuck? Like, you should look into that. And
to be fair, he's an Air Force captain. They're, usually pretty stoic, if I may be forward, like they're not the most like, they don't get, spooked easily. So,
it's not that he needs to be spooked, but he should definitely have looked into that. I would have anyways.
No kidding. Yeah. So it was around 10:30 p.m. He's at his parents' house, and then the phone rang, and Gary's mom answered. And I'm gonna insert the audio here. Warning: it's kind of hard to listen to. It's a little fucking creepy, and by a little I mean a lot. But so proceed with caution. So, but then this monotone, kind of like mechanical voice kept asking for Gary, and Gary at first thought it was just his brother playing a prank. He's like, all right, everyone keeps fucking with me. He's still in this mindset of like, yeah, someone's just fucking with me or whatever. And the voice kept asking when he was going to be back in Texas. And Gary claimed that Gary was being impersonated by someone. And I'll put in the clip here. You can hear it.
Do you want to speak to him? sudden drink in there.
Yeah, who's this? Steven? Are you playing games with me or what? Huh? Steven, if you're playing games, I'm gonna kick your ass.
So how long are you going to be back from Texas?
Huh?
You're being impersonated by the other voice.
Yeah, this is you, Steven, you idiot. You're pissing me off.
But like I said, warning, it's kind of hard to listen to. You know, and then it just keeps repeating those two statements until the call eventually just disconnects. So that was at 10:30. Around 11:10 p.m., another call comes in. And it was the same voice asking the same questions. But this time it also included some cryptic messages.
Oh my God, you jump scared the shit out of me. I just saw you highlight in the Google Doc. And oh my God, it scared me so bad.
Sorry.
I was not expecting you to highlight. Like, look. You
Wait,
saw how
on.
I just did that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Sorry.
God, that scared me so bad. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but that...
You know what? I'm leaving that in because that's hilarious.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I was like trying not to lose my place here.
No, that's fine. I just wasn't expecting. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay.
Oh
So,
it's scary.
oh my God, where was I?
So same voice asked same questions.
Yeah,
Second
so
call.
but this time it also included like cryptic messages, such as like keep an eye on the skies in the full moon. Here's the second clip of that too.
Okay, I'll be back. Excuse me? I can't hear too well. Yeah, there's a full moon out. That's true.
So, double from here.
The call then ends by saying show double of you. And this is where the conspiracy part comes in. Some people believe that this is a doppelganger situation. So, because before, what did he say before? He was talking about like you're being impersonated or something.
Yeah, that he made a call to his friend, but it wasn't him, but it sounded like him. That is doppelganger shit, huh?
Yeah, and then that first phone call, he said you're being impersonated. And I was just like, what the fuck? So then that, you know, he hangs up or whatever. The third call comes in literally like 20 minutes later or something, around 11:38 p.m. And this time it was mostly static and other cryptic, like barely audible messages, such as we come to be within this planet and government interference are some of the messages. So here's the third phone call audio here.
Yes, this is me.
To be within this planet.
Say that again?
To many. To be contact. As the same with you. Beware. Government interference. Visitations to be disrupted by them. Sun will rise from dark side of
There's much speculation that he was part of a psychological experiment or a doppelganger situation, you know, due to multiple references of, you know, there being more than one Gary. But to this day, it remains unsolved. And in the video that I reference in the description here, the guy that runs the channel Fortune actually was able to interview Gary, and you know, he still provided, he's like, I still to this day, I don't know what that was, and never got any calls after that again. And, you know, I'm assuming he flew home and he was fine, never ran into any other issues. So it was just literally from his journey from San Antonio to Long Island. And that, you know, time that he was there with his parents that this had occurred. So
In 1993. That's
1993.
crazy.
Yeah, I don't know to this day, like it could be a doppelganger situation and it was government interference. You know, they said that.
He was an Air Force captain, so, you know, it wouldn't be, you know, obscene to think there was some military interference with that or something.
Right.
You
But
know, they know a bunch of shit we don't know.
it
So.
makes me think of the very first Twilight Zone episode called Where Is Everybody?
Oh
And
my God. I watched that shit on a plane and it was a terrible idea.
that was a horrible idea, Lord.
It's so bad.
But, you know, it's like he was in the Air Force, funny enough. And
Yeah.
they made him undergo this simulation of like what would it be like if he was the last man alive.
Yep.
And that's what this makes me think of. It's like some kind of like experiment that he wasn't aware of, that he actually was a part of, to see if he was able to maintain his cool, basically. Like,
Dude, I could see
Under
that be
that.
like military training or something like that.
yeah,
To be in a situation like that and see how you react. I could totally see that happening
That's-
too.
that's my theory. Because, you know,
I would agree with that totally.
yeah, because like, I don't believe it's like any kind of like extraterrestrial interference or something like that, you know? Like,
I don't
So-
think extraterrestrials have the capacity to imitate human voice, you know? They
it
can
just-
imitate our language, but not our actual dialect and voice.
right. We're talking about aliens a lot, you know, Local 58 and shit. Like, this ties in with that too, because
I know.
some people think that this is, you know, another life form trying to communicate. But, you know, even Gary's like, no, he's like, I think it was someone that was just really messing with me, you know? And
Could have
I
been
would
someone
believe
from. Oh, sorry.
that. No, go ahead.
It could have been someone from the military. I could totally see that as like military training, dealing with like external forces and stuff like that.
Because,
You
you know, when you're, you know, doing stuff like that, when you're in the Air Force and stuff, they want to make sure that you're mentally sound enough to deal with things that are much bigger and beyond you. You know what I mean? So that's what I think. When I heard this story, it gave me the fucking creeps. Could you imagine being on a plane and being approached by, especially as a woman, you know, it's like creepy enough, but
Oh
you
yeah.
know, it's like being followed by someone and being like, what the fuck do you want from me?
Yeah.
You know?
It does sound like someone was just messing with him.
Yeah.
Because if it hasn't happened again, I don't like it could be a doppelganger thing for sure, but I feel like doppelgangers don't pursue you, you just kind of stumble upon them.
Right.
You know,
And-
so that's kind of hard for me to believe.
The creepiest thing of this all was that he didn't tell anyone that he was going to fly back home, and somehow whatever this was that called him knew, you know, that he's in Texas and was going to be flying back at some point, you know?
That could be debunked by like getting like airline records. Like they could have looked up a flight that he took recently. They could have looked up like all
True.
kinds. Even in 1993, you could find that stuff.
True.
So someone could
especially,
have. Yeah,
especially in, you know, the Air Force or military access. I'm
that's
assuming.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it could have just been some kind of, you know, someone fucking with him, or it could have been some kind of training. You know.
Yeah. But I
So.
love this theory because it's like, you know, what is it? You know, if it was a true doppelganger thing, that is the most terrifying thing I've ever heard.
Oh,
You know, we've talked
That-
about. Oh, sorry.
I was just saying that gave me the heebies and the jeebies.
Yeah. You know, we've touched on doppelgangers on this show before, and it's fucking scary. Fuck that shit, you know?
And
Ugh.
twins have doppelgangers, so don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
You know.
Lauren is not my doppelganger. She's my twin.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, no, I'm so glad we got to talk about that because holy shit, like,
Yeah, you weren't kidding. That's crazy.
whew, it's a lot. It's, you know, let us know in the comments, by the way, what you think of some of these theories, you know? Let
Yeah,
us
give
know.
us your thoughts.
Give us your
So-
thoughts. Do you think the Weather Channel is controlling the weather? Do you think Gary was stalked by aliens?
Do you think AI is bullshit like we do?
I mean, I have a feeling the general consensus will be yes on that one, but
Yeah, I feel like that too.
prove us
especially-
wrong.
Huh?
Let's say prove us wrong. Put it in the
Oh, yeah.
comments. Disagree.
Yeah, literally. So my last one, and this is going to tie into the Epstein stuff. So this is a recent one. Well, semi-recent. The theory kind of came back up recently, like I'd say like 2017. But have you ever heard of celebrities having a body double, like them dying, and then someone replaces them, and it seems like they never died.
Yeah.
So the biggest one, it's like, this is all conspiracy, and all these celebrities are going to debunk it, of course, and like say that's not true. But oh my God, you scare me again with this. Jesus.
Oh, I'm sorry. I won't
Okay.
do. Okay, I'll put my hand. I'll sit on my hands.
Sorry.
Sorry.
So
please continue.
the biggest one of these, though, is Avril Lavigne. Believe it or not, but
Really?
literally everyone thinks she killed herself in 2003. Like literally just took her ass out after her first album came out, and then she was replaced by a woman named Melissa Vandella, which Mandela. All makes sense. No, I don't know, but you know, people have had that theory like way back then, but it kind of came back to life in 2017. You know, someone just like started posting about it on Twitter or whatever, and Avril Lavigne has denied so many times, like, I don't have a double, like whatever, you know. And people really say the reason why that it's so convincing is because she looks so different than when she did in 2003, because she had like,
hold on. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'm Googling this. I want to see what the difference is.
Yeah, she like Avril Lavigne had Lyme disease for like 2 years or something. She was like completely bedridden. She doesn't have the same body that she used to, and she looks different. She also aged. That's normal. So,
well, right.
You know, people like, you know, seeing all the physical changes in her like face and body and stuff. It's like convincing to them that, oh, she has a body double. But I don't know. I don't fucking believe it, because yeah, Melissa Vandella, if you look at a picture, like you put a picture up of both of them side by side here, like Avril today and Melissa Vandella today, like they do look pretty much exactly the same. But I just don't think it's her. Like, you know, they joke about it and stuff, but
holy shit, they do look exactly the same.
That, you know, it's not crazy, but can you imagine Melissa Vandella looking like Avril back in 2003? Like, that's hard for me to think about. Like, she looks like her now, but she doesn't look like her when she was younger. Definitely not. So,
dude, that is wild.
Isn't that crazy? Like, people really are convinced, like, celebrities take their asses out and, like, you know, just hire someone to fill in for them, or they find someone to fill in for them so it doesn't look like they're dead. Like, everyone says this about Selena Gomez too, and I really don't give a shit about Selena Gomez, but like,
right,
you know, she had lupus, she had a kidney transplant, she was bipolar, like she has all these problems with her body. It drastically changed the way she looked, and people are convinced that she died sometime after her and Justin Bieber broke up, and like this person took over her. You know,
how about people age? No one looks the same as they did when they were 20.
Yeah,
you know, like,
and they're like, there's something going on in Hollywood where people just don't look the same anymore. Yeah, because they get botched surgeries on their face. You know, they get these terrible surgeries, and especially, have you seen Mandy Moore lately?
No,
she looks like a skeleton. She looks complete. Like, do Mandy Moore today, like 2026, and you'll see what I mean.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
She doesn't even look the same.
I know. She had this beautiful full face, and, you know, she had light in her eyes, and like now she just looks soulless. Like, I think there's just trauma and stuff going on with celebrities that it's changing their appearance, but I don't think it's a body double. You know, it's like, you know, like that's really far-fetched for me to believe anyways.
I think, yeah, like you said, it could be botched surgeries, and it's a way to cover it up because there's a lot of shame around people admitting, like, hey, I had some work done. That's the only thing I could think of, you know, like, because, yeah, like, it just sounds like fear-mongering to me. Who's being replaced? You know, like, where are you finding these people? It's fucking stupid.
Well,
you know?
And, like, the most recent one that I found was Jim Carrey.
Yes, I remember that.
Yes, so he made an appearance at some, I don't know, I forgot what award show or whatever thing it was. And his appearance is so different from this year to last year that people are literally convinced he has a body double that just took over him. And he like, because he's kind of been batshit for a while, you know, and saying all this weird shit, but like, and he's not as goofy and animated as he used to be. But
Yeah, he's also older. How old is
Yeah.
he now? He's fucking. Hold on, let me see. He is. Hold on. He was born in 1962, so he's 64 years old.
yeah,
I mean,
that's
my
gonna
God.
happen, you know? It's like, and I guess what kind of perpetuated this, it was like a drag artist named Alexis Stone. She posted on her Instagram, Alexis Stone is Jim Carrey in Paris, and she like showed off all these prosthetics and wigs and fake teeth, basically insinuating that she was dressing up like Jim Carrey or something.
Right.
And it was just a joke, but they were just, it was, people kept feeding into it, and they're like, oh no, it's totally that, and blah blah blah, you know, it's crazy. But I just think the idea of someone just, you know, offing themselves and then their team just replacing them with someone else and keeping their name is crazy.
Yeah,
I just don't think that's happening. I think there's a lot of like dark shit in Hollywood, and I've watched so many documentaries about this, like obviously like Quiet on Set being one of them. If you haven't seen Quiet on Set, fucking watch that shit. It's crazy. But you know, it like changes people. It changes their brain chemistry and appearance, and I think that's what we're seeing. I don't think it's replacements. It's these celebrities being former shells of themselves because they've been through a lot.
Right.
You know, whether it's stuff mentally, physically, surgically, whatever it is, you know, and it's, I mean, it really does look like these people are being replaced because they look that different. But I don't know. I just feel like that's hard for me to believe. Like Ariana Grande is another one too, who she fucking lost her mind, you know?
Yeah.
She looks completely different than what she did. She's 97 pounds. You know, she could fall through a crack in the floor.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know. It's that like a lot of celebrities are just like losing their mind lately. Like something's happening internally in Hollywood that I don't know what the fuck it is, but
Well, because,
you know,
going into the Epstein stuff, if we may,
yeah,
like a lot of shit has been exposed lately, and a lot of people have been in a lot of trouble, you know, and that can cause a chain reaction amongst, you know, the inner machinations of Hollywood, you know, and people don't realize that, like, you know, like not everyone you see someone and you think they're a philanthropist and, oh, I gave to charity. That doesn't mean that they're a good person. You know, they're getting paid to say that. They're not good people. You know, it's like, you know, and because the same thing with Epstein, they're talking about how he possibly had a body double and it was Hillary Clinton's brother.
Yeah. So the night that he passed away, or he killed himself, quote unquote, it was like someone came out about that. I think that's what happened. Is someone who worked at the jail that Epstein was at talked about how these cars showed up, like these vans showed up, and ironic that the police or ambulance is coming by right now, but
oh god, they're listening to us. God damn it! No, it's an ambulance because they're coming over here.
Anyway, so this guy who talked about how he saw vans pull up to like the jail and basically switch out Epstein's body with Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton's brother.
Yeah,
you know, and because the picture that they showed of Epstein dead, he doesn't look dead. He has all the color in his face. He's like smiling, kind of. Like dead people don't look like that,
right?
You know? He looked like he was asleep.
Even immediately after, as someone that has experienced this hands-on, if anyone would like my professional opinion, it is that, you know, given the time that they found him and everything, yeah, it was pretty immediately after death, but you know, when you die, it's like you can tell they look kind of deflated, because what happens, if I may be technical for 2 seconds, is there's a process called filtration due to gravity starts happening. So all of the fluid in your vessels and stuff, and all the interstitial fluid, lymph, whatever you want to call it, everything, because if you die on your back, it starts to pool towards the back of your body. It begins to filter out because it's not being circulated or pushed. If Epstein killed himself, if he hung himself and he died like that, it would go to his lower extremities. He would look a lot flatter on top. His eyes would be sucking in, because your eyes are basically like 98% water. So, you know, your eyes would be all sunken in, the cheeks would be sunken in. You would look like, you know, somebody flattened you, like an anvil, like in the Looney Tunes cartoons, just like look flatter. And you know, looking at him, he still very much has like a lot of like fluid retention in his face. And, you know, so because I don't know exactly what they said, if he hung himself or how he actually killed himself, if he had
I
died
think it
on
was
the set,
hanging in his cell. Like that's
Yeah.
what he said.
then what would happen is that it would all start pooling towards the bottom. And, you know, yes, that takes time to do, obviously, but looking at him, it's like, it didn't look like someone that had, immediately died. So,
I know. I want to
Yeah.
see if I can find it really quick just to show you.
I will not be putting the picture up because I do not want YouTube coming for me, or us, I should
Okay.
say. So, I will, if you want to look this up yourself, you can. I'm not inserting it into the episode, but
Here, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna show you just so you could see.
yeah, it's pretty fucking.
This is an article that the picture's in.
Here, let me see. Yeah, it just looks like someone that's asleep, you know, and I'm looking at the picture too. The face looks a little bit wider than Epstein's. Just first glance, me looking at it from like how I would, you know, diagnosing a death when I used to work as a mortician. The face looks a little bit wider. I don't see any marks on the neck. It's nothing visible. It probably, you know, there's something, he's got the collar and stuff, or the shirt or whatever kind of pushed up, but there's no visible like markings or indications that there was something around the neck. So just from my first glance, you know, as someone that used to work in the field, I would not say he died by hanging. If his face does look a little bit more swollen, it could be fluid retention. Usually when someone hangs themselves, it's not really usually what happens, maybe under certain circumstances, but I don't think he killed himself.
He just
Throw
looks like, have you ever taken a picture of yourself laying down like that and how your face just kind of falls like that anyway? Like, it doesn't look swollen. Like, there's nothing about it that says dead. It just says sleeping.
There's no obvious trauma. I didn't really look into it extensively as far as like the autopsy report and everything, what they claimed, like what it was. We might do some live research here. I'm gonna look up the autopsy results. But yeah, sorry if you hear that beeping, by the way. They're doing work in the parking lot next door, and today's the day that they decided to use a backhoe that beeps every 5 seconds. So I'm so sorry about that.
I didn't hear anything, so I don't know if they will.
Okay, thank God. So here is from the Department of Justice, the autopsy report. Oh my God, this is like 150,000 pages.
Wait, just send it to me?
I just need the diagram, man. Hold on. Let me send this to you.
Let me see if I can find it. Thank you.
Okay, so this is the noose that was recovered after his death. Okay, so it was by hanging. You know, there's pictures of his cell. I'm going to link this article also. What is this?
Wow, there's a table of contents to this.
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole ass thing, you
There's
know?
7 chapters. God almighty. And then 2 appendixes.
Yeah, no, it's
Where's
It's
the
a lot.
actual report? Let's see.
It's a lot, dude. Like, there is so much. This is the thing that's wild about the Epstein, which we did not get into formally. And we're assuming a lot of people know, unless you live under a rock, what this actually is. So before we continue, let me just, as a summary, the Epstein files are a quote unquote partial release of documents detailing contacts, sex trafficking allegations, and criminal investigations involving Jeffrey Epstein. It includes 3 million pages and extensive photographs and videos detailing all the crimes that go all the way back to the 90s. I think 1994, 96.
Not just for Jeffrey Epstein, but everyone that he knew.
Yeah.
That was a part of his circle.
Everyone. 3 million. So this is not a shock that this is so fucking long. There is so much documentation. It would take someone months, if not years, to fully navigate through everything and kind of summarize it. It's a huge like undertaking, you know, which is why we're only briefly talking about it, because we are barely scratching the surface of an ass hair on the ass of this fucking case, you know. Like, it is insane. But you know,
what I'm reading from here too is that he had beef with his cellmate. Apparently, that's what he was telling officials.
Well, who wouldn't?
I know.
So this document just talks about, like, you know, the nature of the case and that it was ruled a suicide. But I want the autopsy report. Was it never released?
I don't know. They showed like where his cell was, number 220. They showed like actual pictures of his cell in this.
Yeah, these are like court documents and stuff. This is insane. There is so much around this. Like, it's actually fucking insane.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see like a report or anything.
Okay, so here I'm looking I know I just talked about the AI overview and Google being bullshit, but I don't have time to sift through 100 fucking pages. Apparently, the injuries from the autopsy revealed broken bones in his neck, specifically the hyoid bone and the thyroid cartilage, the Adam's apple, so the front part. If you look at this picture, which is, you sent to me, you can look it up for yourself.
Yeah.
Because I'm not putting it in the episode. On the front of the neck, there's no visual trauma that happened. There's no indication that was, it's also kind of being covered up, but if there was enough, the bruising would extend upward, like towards his chin and stuff, you would be able to see it a lot better. And that's not there, I don't see anything.
But he looks like he's smiling, though. Doesn't he look like he's fucking smiling, or am I crazy?
That's the part that's fucking crazy to me. Because, oh my God, are you still there? Oh, thank God, my computer froze for a second. I was like, oh no.
Oh,
but
okay.
I got it. Yeah, he looks like he's fucking smiling. Hold on.
I don't know. Just something about it just says grandpa asleep on the couch, It doesn't say I hung myself and here I am dead on the floor,
Yeah, like I'm trying to even find just like a picture of him after his death, and like that's the only one we can really see.
That's one picture that the prison officials released. Also, I'm looking at pictures of Hillary Clinton's brother. They look nothing alike.
Yeah, I know.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah, this is fucking insane, dude. Like, they, for such a high profile case, they released like little to no fucking pictures after the incident. What the hell is this? It's all blurred. But, meanwhile, there's like fucking Chris Farley. You can look up his autopsy photos, no problem. And God, I can't even, I remember when I was in college, my professor pulled them up as a, reference for like, we had to like diagnose what happened based on like, the nature of how the body was found. Oh my God. I can't, to this day, they still haunt me. Do not Google his fucking death photos, the crime scene photos. Don't do it. It's really bad. But yeah, apparently everything checks out with a suicidal hanging, but then you look at the actual pictures of the body and you're like, what the fuck? You know? So in conclusion, there was a body double. At least I think.
Yes.
From a professional standpoint. But yeah, like the Epstein files are so crazy because they only partially released the documents at first, and they were court ordered to not redact anything, and yet it was still released with redacted information because it could greatly impact some people, and like it didn't greatly impact the victims. Like, I don't know, I just think it's fucking stupid. And then at the beginning of this year there was I think they released the rest of the files, and isn't it interesting that the day the files got released, like Google crashed. Like there was
yes,
YouTube was down, and like you couldn't really use Google. Like there was a huge fucking like outage that coincided with it, and that's kind of the conspiracy of like, well, why would they do that? Is that just coincidence, or was it intentional? There's so much around this. Like I said, we're only barely touching on this just because we would be here for another 6 hours if we talked about everything.
I know,
but
literally.
Some of the stuff, I just want to mention this because this is one thing from the files that fucked me up so much when I saw it, was allegations around Leonardo DiCaprio and how apparently he eats children.
Well, not just him, it's a lot of other people too.
Yeah, but like he was the first one I saw, and I was like, that's not real. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah,
and
what
then,
I saw is they reference it as having a pizza party, or something like that. Ellen DeGeneres said that shit when at the
Ew.
Oscars. You know, she said, "Oh, I want to invite everyone over for pizza and have a pizza party."
Jesus Christ.
I know, it's fucking crazy. Like, they're so, like, and she doesn't live in the United States anymore because she had to flee this country because she's so hated here that she lives in Europe now. You know?
Yeah.
I'm like,
It
good,
sucks.
get your ass out of here. You know, she ruined her own reputation just for being an asshole, but she's a child-eating asshole.
Yeah. It's, dude, and it chilled me to my core reading that because I knew there was a lot of fucked up shit in those files. You know, sex trafficking is just its own, you know, world of just insane. But eating children, what in the where are you getting these children from? You know, like, and then you think about all the missing person cases over the last 30 plus years.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, does that have something to do with it? You know, it's just, there's so much speculation because, like I said, the files don't explicitly state a lot of things because there's still a lot of shit that's redacted and photos and names and stuff like that, even though they were court ordered not to. And as far as we know, there's been no consequences for that. Like, no one has gotten in trouble for keeping things redacted, you know? And it's just, it's insane, you know, how like something like this could happen.
We are not angry enough about this kind of stuff, though.
Yeah.
We are not mad enough that these fucking people have the audacity to use their power for evil, you know? Like, true evil. Raping and eating children and impregnating them and, you know, all this dark, gross shit. And listen, we talk about a lot of dark shit on this podcast. This is probably the darkest thing we're going to talk about. We went to the Warren's Occult Museum, you know?
Right.
Like, I don't think you get more fucked up than taking the innocence of a child and just destroying it for fun. That's the thing. There's no gain from this. They do it for fun. You know, it's like, this probably goes back way farther than the 90s too, because like, think about Pinocchio, dude. Like, remember when they took all those boys and brought them to an island and turned them into goats for slaughter? Or goats, donkeys. So, and the guy who was in charge was like this big fat evil man. And like, it's like, this probably has been going on forever. Jeffrey Epstein's just at the forefront of it because his stuff was public. And you know what? Like, he hasn't even like, he's just a rich guy who got away with a lot of shit. That's what pisses me off. It's not like he changed the world. You know, he just made a lot of money and used it for evil for years, for decades, literal decades.
What we won't talk about is his political influence also, but there's that too. If you want to look that up, you can look that up, but he had a lot of power and people still speculate that he's alive, you know? And
a TikTok came up of him, like, it's saying like it was him and it was verified. Did you hear about that?
No.
Yeah, basically there's someone on TikTok saying they're Jeffrey Epstein and it's a verified account. Like, what the fuck is this world? Like, if this is like a joke, that's not funny. like, I like a good joke, but that is literally fucked up.
But here's the thing, you know, like we were saying earlier, people have become so desensitized now that something like this happens and they're just like, oh, whatever, you know, that sucks. Like, we have become so desensitized as people from like actual horrific shit because there's tragedies and crazy shit happening all the fucking time now. And it's insane how, you know, something like this happens. And like you said, we're not angry enough about it. You know, of course, everybody was quick to make, you know, social media posts about it to help with their algorithm and help them, you know, gain more of a following. But are there people that are actually mad about this? You know, I'm fucking pissed about it. I can't even watch it. It makes me sick to my stomach. Which that channel Fortune that I referenced with the Gary Sudbrink story / theory. He also did a couple of videos about Epstein. I highly recommend going and watching those on his channel too, because he does a good job at condensing a lot of information. So, if you want, you know, to learn more about it, you know, watch it from someone who actually took the time, unlike us who are just like, I have an opinion, you know, like
it's all like, you know, opinion, thoughts, whatever. You know, it kind of ties into what we're talking about, but that is like the point of the iceberg. Not even the tip. It's the very tippy point of the iceberg.
Yeah.
Of the Jeffrey Epstein stuff. Like, it's fucking insane.
Dude, this quote unquote conspiracy overshadows every conspiracy we have talked about today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's so fucked up.
Because some of it is conspiracy, but some of it is, like, a lot of it is true. That's what's
yeah. And the only reason that there's still a conspiracy tied to this is because they didn't fully disclose all of the information in the files. You know, like, there's a lot of redacted shit, so it leads to speculation. But it's like, if they had just done what they were supposed to do, we would know everything. And honestly, I think there's a reason why they're redacting it, is because it would be downright fucking outrage. You know, people would be rioting in the streets, you know? And it's like, you think about during COVID too, all the protests that happened and stuff around, you know, certain events that happened around that year. And it's like, where's the Jeffrey Epstein protest? Where's the people fighting for that and for the well-being of, you know, young girls and children and, you know, people that have been, you know, subjected to his crimes? Like, where is that? Where is it? You know, because I haven't seen it. And it's just disgusting, you know? It is just, this is beyond anything that I think, and I think there's still that element of like, it's almost, people don't want to believe it because of how outlandish it is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, if this is true, we need to be fucking doing something about it, you know?
And, you know,
like,
I can think of two reasons why people aren't protesting. One, out of fear, because they, you know, people who even talk about Jeffrey Epstein, who has a big platform, said that, you know, cars would show up at their house and wait for them outside, and, you know, like, weird things that happen after they, like, kind of divulged information about that stuff. So people are probably, you know, not doing it out of fear. And, or two, it doesn't directly affect them.
True.
Because people are so selfish now. Sorry about the motorcycle. People are so selfish now that, you know, unless it directly affects them, they don't really care, you know, what's happening behind the scenes. But it does affect all of us, because it's the 1%, the people who we're fighting against, because our economy fucking sucks.
If,
you know,
these organizations, the CIA, the FBI, whoever, are covering this kind of thing up and protecting people like this, how the fuck are we supposed to trust anyone? You know? Like, that's what I say. It's like, they knew all of this shit. It's now coming out decades later, and they're still finding ways to protect these evil people.
It's probably because Jeffrey Epstein's in their pockets. That's why he probably paid off a lot of people to be quiet, hush money. That's the only thing I can think of. Yeah, and I'm talking about a life-changing amount of money, because that man was like a billionaire, you know?
Yeah.
Like a multi-billionaire.
This is why having too much money is not good.
Like, can we have a cap on money? Like, you can only make a certain amount, and then the rest has to go back into, like, the public. I feel like that would be a good idea.
Yeah, no kidding, right? I could use a couple bucks right now myself.
Same, my God.
But yeah, man, fucking, ugh. That's as far as we're going with the Epstein shit, because
we're done with that.
We're under the radar enough to where I'm not worried about, like, you know, somebody finding out that we talked about this, but, like, you know, at the same time, it's like that we could go on forever and ever, but that is just the gist of the files. And there's so many good resources and places too. Like, if you want, you know, actual facts, go to government websites. All the documents are on there. The whole Epstein files themselves are on the Department of Justice website, I believe. And, you know, just type in the Epstein file, it'll come right up, you know? And, you know, even though there's a lot of stuff that's being withheld, it's still, you know, I think it's something that needs to be talked about more, honestly. We need to, like, address all this shit, because this is fucking wild. And if you hear all that, that's the crinkling of my tinfoil on my hat. You know, just like,
all right, we got to take the hats off. I'm getting sweaty in here.
I know. I'm starting to, like, you know, this shit is fucking insane. But, well, that was the conspiracy episode.
I hope everyone liked that, because it's probably going to be a while before we do another one.
If we do another one, who knows?
Yes,
but holy shit, I am so glad. You know, the Weather Channel thing is interesting, you know,
Yeah, I didn't think they'd have like any conspiracy, but I was just curious, and like all that stuff came up, and I'm like, oh, but it makes a lot of sense, you know?
Dude, that's crazy. And by the way, if anyone is wondering, the music you're hearing in the background is Weather Channel music. So,
For the irony of it.
yes. I mean, I'm not even kidding. When Laura and I are hanging out, like just us, or you know, with Quinn or whatever, we literally have on just like playlists of like Weather Channel music and
I don't
vaporwave
know,
and
it's
stuff.
just relaxing. Like,
Dude, it's good background noise. So,
yeah.
dude, yeah. Oh my God, this is a lot.
Yeah. So let's end this bitch, and we'll
Yes.
do something lighthearted next time.
Yeah, next time it'll be dick and fart jokes. I
Yeah,
don't know.
a whole episode.
Could you imagine we did a whole episode of dick and fart jokes?
We would just be Kevin Smith.
That's true.
Yeah.
He'd call us out and be like, this is my material. But anyway,
Yes.
so what song are you putting in?
So going back to when I talked about, you know, going to a show last weekend, it was to see a band that we love and have loved for almost 20 years at this point. We saw them almost 20 years ago open for Amon Amarth, and their name is Thy Will Be Done. And I don't remember if I put them in the podcast before. I probably did at least once, but
You have.
I was so happy. The last time I saw Thy Will Be Done was 2015. So it had been 11 years at that point. And they just started doing shows again like a couple years ago, and they released all their stuff on Spotify and like all the different platforms and stuff. So they put out an album in 2024 after their last album before that came out in 2009. Like, that's a big gap. That's
No
a 15-year gap of an album. So but we love those guys. We've always supported them. Like, just so fun. Like, it's not like death metal or anything. Like, Metal Archives calls them groove metal. They basically sound like what Pantera wishes they sounded like.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I put it to people. It's like, this is what Pantera was trying to go for, but Thy Will Be Done did it better. So so we saw them, you know, last Saturday. They were co-headlining a show, and we just had like the best time. We did like a 45-minute set. It was so fun. And my husband got to see them for the first time and meet them and stuff. And oh my God, it was so great.
Yeah.
Like, their vocalist, Jay. Hi, Jay. If you listen to this podcast, it would be a miracle if you did. But
Hi, Jay.
it's just the nicest guy, the biggest hugs you will ever get from a human in your life. You know, just the nicest person. Like, it was like a family reunion. And I went with Dad, you know, our dad. Hi, Dad. And because he loves them too, so it was just a good rooting time, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm putting in for them.
I did not go because I had other things going on, but I'm glad Quinn at least got to see them I've seen them like 150 times, so you know.
We've seen them like we've seen them at least like 20 times. I feel like, or some crazy number like that.
Yeah, maybe that's conservative, but
Yeah,
you know. It's been a lot.
We traveled close and far for that band.
Yeah.
And seen them go through a lot of changes and a lot of shit, and just been supportive all the way. And like, I'm just putting in a song for them because I fucking love them. I love them. I love their music. I love everything about them. The vibe, the everything. So
yeah, we love those guys. They're like family at this point.
They're like family. You know, it's that's it. That's all I got to say.
Well, thank you for joining us today. You're going to notice the description of this video is going to be very beefy. There's a lot to include. So
yeah, next episode we're doing, it's just going to be a bullshitter because we put too much energy and effort into this episode.
Yeah.
So,
part of the reason why it took us so long to do this episode or to record another episode is because there was a lot involved in like trying to make sure that we are including the right information. We're not trying to like, you know, be too far out with our shit and stuff like that. So, you know, it took a lot of prep work on our end, and I had other shit going on. I had commissions and stuff I had to finish up, which, by the way, I no longer accept commissions, and that's, you know, for the foreseeable future. So please do not ask me for commissions. Thank you. Thank you to those that have, you know, it was great, but I'm not doing them anymore. So now we'll have more time to record episodes that'll take us 2 months to do. Yay!
hey.
But All right, we're putting in That Will Be Done. Next time will be who the hell knows when. It'll probably be a minute, but yeah, so here's That Will Be Done, and we will see you guys soon.
Suffer more, you pay.